Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to week 13. I am here in my office at Sacred Heart University. It is very quiet here on campus, just about to do a web meeting, and just checking in with you all. Okay, so here we are. We are in week 13. Let's go a little review about what you have to do this week. Let's see, week 13. I can't believe we're here already. I did put this post response to this thread here on our week 13 discussion. I never know if those work, so I figured I'd just put those there. I'm never 100% sure how those are supposed to work and if I have to start them or not. But if you can just create a new thread, create a new thread. If not, just do a response to mine. All right, so here we are in week number 13, learning experience. So it is, again, this discussion board for week 13, discussion evidence-based practice. This is due Wednesday by 11:59. Consider your role of research findings in informing social work practice decisions. Upload a video in which you describe why you feel evidence-based practice is important or not, and how you will make use evidence to inform your professional decision making. So your video should be no longer than 5 minutes. You can use your phone, you can use webcam, YouTube, VoiceThread, or another tool to create your video. I tend to use right here on the Mac something called Photo Booth, and it makes a video. And then actually, I just use that to film me so you can see me because we can be interactive. And then I actually use something called Snagit to do the screenshots. But you don't have to do that. A good video can actually just be done right here if you have a Mac on your Microsoft on Photo Booth. If you have a PC, I don't know what to tell you. I don't use PCs. But you can do that there. And then what I usually do is then I upload it to YouTube, which is like weird because my videos are all over YouTube, but I don't think anyone's actually looking for them. But then it just makes it easier for me to post. If the video stuff is too confusing to you, you can just put a post. I'd love for you to put a picture though, because I only got to see you guys once in the beginning, and I know for me it's easier to connect with someone when I'm seeing them face to face, and that's not always possible here in the online medium and world that we are in, which is one of the reasons I have I have no makeup on. I'm doing my videos for you all. To kind of just make some sort of connection. So if you could put a video, if not, could you just put a picture? Because I really, actually, I'm getting to know all your names right now. I'm getting to know how you write, but I would love to know you more. I just have like some vision of who you are. I would really love to know you more. So if you could do that, I would really like that. And again, if you're embarrassed, just remember all the times I've spoken to you without any makeup on, and that should not embarrass you at all. Okay, big thing due this week. This is a big one, your lit review, okay? You should have at this point gotten feedback from your colleagues, and you should be integrating that feedback into your paper. Your paper should be at least 10 pages in length. Okay, that being said, let me look at you when I'm talking to you. That being said, do not overstate what you were saying just to fill up 10 pages. I actually am looking at this assignment myself. I don't know if it needs to be 10 pages. If you give me 8 very well-written pages, I'm going to be fine with that. I will not be looking and going, oh my goodness, this student didn't hit 10 pages. If it is 8 very well-written pages and you have edited out a lot of that fluff that I'm seeing in the few papers I've started to see, then I'm really cool with that. I'm not going to be like, ding, 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 you just hit 10 pages. I also will not give extra credit for a really lengthy paper. That being said, also, unlike some professors, some students I find are very wordy and they write a lot to get their point across. If you go over 10 pages, I will not penalize you. Please do not go over anything like 14, 15. I just don't have the stamina to read that. If you go over, you are not getting extra points. I'm not going to think you're brilliant because it took you a long time to get to the point. Actually writing a 8 to 10 page paper clearly and succinctly is harder than writing a 13, 14 page paper. But at this time in your developing writing skills, if you need to go a couple of pages over, I'm totally okay with that. Check with all professors on that though, because not every professor is as lenient as me. I just like to give a lot of room for you developing your writing. Speaking of developing writing, I have not been your professor before, so I don't know if you all know my expectations for a research paper. During last week's discussion, I gave feedback to one of your colleagues, and I did post that. That's Brenda's, and she was kind enough to let me post hers. She did an excellent lit review. And I put a lot of comments on that. I would highly recommend, since she was kind enough to let me share that with you, that you take a look at that. For those of you that are not in her section, I did post it with her permission on your discussion board. I would highly recommend that you look at that. Because there's a lot of information there about things that I'm going to expect as far as citations. Okay, this is a research literature review. You should be doing very little creative writing. Okay, and what do I mean by that? That doesn't mean that the paper is filled with quotes. That means that the paper is filled with an integration of the different research that you've read. You shouldn't be explaining to me that you think that something is a very big problem. You should be showing me that through research, evidence, and expert opinion. And when you're using research, evidence, and expert opinion, you should be citing a lot. Okay, if you are writing this paper and it seems as though you are citing every other sentence, guess what? You're doing something right. Okay, and I know that goes against what you've learned before, like, oh, it should be my own words. Yeah, it should be your own words. You should be integrating different pieces of information together. You should be summarizing it in your own words, but the idea comes from somewhere else. If you are citing something like immigration has contributed to immigration policy has contributed to poor mental health outcomes, that is not obvious. Okay, that is not something that you can speak about. That's not something I can speak about. Okay, that is something, however, that many researchers can speak about. And so if I were to do that and then to cite a researcher, an article, an expert source that supports that claim, then that belongs there. So you're writing a statement like that, citation. And the citation should be an APA. I am going to be picky about that. I am very picky about APA. If you are uncomfortable with APA, you should look for my, as I showed you last week, the APA file, and you should be looking for that. There are a lot of resources on how to do APA. I am available for an email. I'll help you out as best I can. If not, there is that great writing center that can help you out with that. And I showed you last week. Watch the video last week where I showed you how you could upload a paper. I was thrilled to find out a few of you actually did send it to that submission, because they are wonderful there. That is a free service. You should be taking advantage of it. All right, so let's